This is what all you people love. Hey, get the links up. We can get our share on. Sharing is caring.
No shit, man.
Sharing is caring. So, for those that don't know yet.
This podcast is brought to you by lineupmedia.fm.
Is it?
I want to make sure that's actually...
Hey, man, what are you doing? I can hear that, though.
Beaming back at you. Now, they've been coming here ever since 1946.
Hey, man, I can totally hear that.
And they have been living and working among us in vast quantities.
We're having a few technical issues right now, people. Oh, he's testing something.
Decided to repress this information because of the tremendous...
Okay. Carry on.
It worked.
Just trying to make sure that it's showing up on that little bar. If it's not making that thing do something, it's not going through to that screen.
Yeah, that just sounds like technical jargon to me. Yeah, I don't believe that either.
Fucking get this shit out of here, Kenny Power style. Fucking
yeah, I don't believe that either.
Anyway.
Yeah, he's like blah, 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 computer, computer, computer. Type, 0101.
You don't have to be mad just because you don't know how to use a computer. Take it out on your brother.
Shit. Anyway,
we're gonna learn you up computers. No worries.
Yeah, I'll get some computer skills eventually.
Me gonna learn me the computer.
So we get these links together, people, and we're gonna go live. Wait, we are live, but we're gonna start the podcast. We will start the podcast. I like the banter before the show.
Well, we got to hit the record button before it records the podcast.
Yeah. I like that we're podcast and YouTube now. That's pretty good.
I don't know. I've never been on YouTube.
You
My
are
first
now.
YouTube video.
This is your.
I did make a video of me practicing with swords, cutting fruits, but I haven't uploaded it yet.
Oh, you should. What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? Oh, I would watch
put that on our channel if you want.
Yeah, I mean that would get at least a million views.
I've got a whole stream of videos from nunchucks to throwing knives, tomahawks, swords,
Go on.
blow dart guns, slingshots.
Oh yeah, the good stuff.
Throwing
really?
stuff. Knife fights. Shotguns, pistols.
All right, posting this on our
Derringers
or on our Facebook.
I'm gonna
fight with nail clippers.
I'm gonna be wearing a different outfit for each one.
Ooh, like spandex and tights and whatnot.
Kind of exciting. Let's just put it that way.
Right on. Leave a little of the imagination. I gotcha.
Well, it depends on what weapon I'm using. I may dress to suit.
You got a suit on now?
I got a big cowboy hat.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I got the whole Men in Black thing going.
It looks good.
I figure UFOs.
Oh yeah,
require sunglasses.
He dressed the part today, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just noticing, Alex is back with us.
Hey, the link's out if you want to share it.
The link's out. How's it out? On what?
On our. Where else do we share it at?
Oh, I guess we share it, huh?
Here on Facebook.
Facebook. Let's not make that type of impersonation.
Oh yeah.
Should I silence this cell phone, probably?
Share. We are live. Alex and myself talk UFOs.
If either of you have Twitter, now's the time to retweet it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I've ever sent a tweet.
Tweet.
I don't play on Twitter.
Robin, tweet.
We got 2 people watching this.
Oh, we got 2 people watching this.
Viewers.
We got viewers. What's up, viewers?
Calm down. You do this every time you get all excited.
I know, man. I like
get
that we
riled
get
up
viewers,
for UFOs.
You know? I'm excited for unidentified flying objects.
I'm even into unidentified submersible objects. They creep me out just as bad.
I hear you like the strange things in the deep.
I bet they fly too.
You never know.
There's a good place to hide in the middle of the ocean there.
It's deep. It's wide. Just like your mom. Oh, I'm just kidding. That's mean.
That's below the belt.
Yeah, but it's funny.
I thought we left moms out of this.
No. That's exactly where we leave them. In this.
Oh, mom's fair game.
That particular mom's a subscriber.
This is an Xbox.
So,
yeah. we love her.
She's a listener.
Oh, hey, mom.
It's not his mom.
Hi.
It's your
the proverbial your.
So, okay, whenever you guys are ready, I'll roll that beautiful bean footage.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. Links are out. Hit us up. Start the podcast now. Let's go.
All right. going on? This has turned out to be a false start.
Fuck that up.
And
false start prior to the snap, 15-yard penalty, offense.
I think we're good. Let me make sure I'm not team viewered in. I am not good. Here we go.
This podcast is brought to you by lineupmedia.fm.
This podcast.
That was a UFO beaming back at you. Now, they've been coming here ever since 1946, and they have been living and working among us in vast quantities ever since. The government knows all about them. These leaders have decided to repress this information because of the tremendous shock that it would cause to our antiquated system.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad.
You're listening to Surreal Talk, a look inside the world of cults, conspiracies, and the paranormal. Brought to you by lineupmedia.fm.
Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it.
The whole truth about JFK, 9/11, Area 51, the Illuminati, the moon landings, Jesus and Magdalene, the CIA, KGB, and AIDS, the reptilian elite, Watergate, the New World Order, Bilderberg, the MK Ultra Project, the history of the world and the oppression of the human consciousness, and the truth about God, the devil, heaven, hell, and the delicate fabric of the universe.
You gotta say, I am as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Now your hosts, Eric and Everett.
Welcome to Surreal Talk, a lineupmedia.fm production brought to you this week and every week by audible.com. Go to our website, surrealtalkpodcast.com, and find the banner for Audible to create your own 30-day trial account and get a free audiobook download. And if you're looking to do any shopping, visit our website and click the Amazon banner, and any purchases you make will directly support our show. How's everybody doing?
Doing great. How's
Hey,
it going,
yes.
guys?
We have somebody back with us.
Who we got back with us?
We have Alex.
Hey, what's going on, Eric?
Alex,
Everett?
What's up, Alex?
Thanks for
Alex
having
has
me
been
back.
out of
Good to have
town
you
doing
back.
all kinds of hard work and stuff, but he's glad to be back on the podcast this week.
What are we talking about this week, Alex?
We got UFOs, one of my favorite subjects of all time.
Hang on, before we started the podcast, I wanted to dedicate this week's episode. Everett and myself just had a cousin pass away from cancer
He's
yesterday.
been fighting it for a while, and he finally just, it caught up with him. It happens.
So we'd like to dedicate this episode to our cousin Corey.
Take it easy, Corey.
So we're talking about UFOs this week. Unidentified flying objects.
Little green men.
What do you guys think about UFOs? I know I've been interested in UFOs since I was a little kid.
Dude, UFOs is one of the granddaddy conspiracies. Men in black.
It could be the biggest conspiracy.
Well, at least as far as the government's concerned.
That's what
Damn
started
federal
me
origin.
out on conspiracies. It's the first time I saw an alien ever.
It's
I thought,
a really
what's
intriguing
that?
thought. The possibility that there could very well be
The
aliens.
visits,
The
visits from other civilizations and worlds and
right, but that'll be next week.
It's such a mind expanding thought to even have.
here's
that there's
something that
something
might
larger
you know,
than
we
the
got
world.
Star Trek, and the premise of Star Trek every week was they'd fly to a new planet and meet them. If it's like that on another world, we're more or less an episode of Star Trek. They fly their ship down.
They just haven't got here yet.
What a
or
shitty
they have.
No,
episode.
they have. That's what they're doing here. They're filming an episode of their version of Star Trek.
What a shitty episode.
No, Earth is great.
All right, so what do we know about UFOs? Obviously, UFOs, unidentified flying objects. So really that falls into anything in the sky that we really can't explain or understand.
Be it lights or
It doesn't even have to be aliens. It could be
fireballs.
Yeah.
It could be a frisbee going through the air. If you don't know what it is,
it could be
Hopefully
advanced
you would know if it's a
technology.
frisbee.
right?
Could be, it could be
it could,
advanced military
one of those light up
technology.
frisbees. I mean, I'm not saying they could be small.
Yeah, it could be
A drone flying by, somebody's
be-
toy.
the latest thing Boeing's got cooked up, or whoever who else does DARPA projects and whatnot.
I don't know. Boeing. That's like major airplane building.
Yeah,
I think the Department of
McDonnell
Energy
Douglas.
does them too with
Sure.
the HARP stations. I'm not sure who runs that.
Yeah. So what do we? What kind of UFOs do people talk about? You always hear about the classic design of
The
the saucer.
flying saucer, yeah, and everyone knows that. That's like the disc shaped.
Everything from 10 foot across with a glass bubble in the middle to You know, something
Jetson
like
style.
Independence Day.
Yeah, the single suit Martian, only one.
Oh, God, my wife's going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, Marvin even.
Yeah.
He had that.
Yeah, like Marvin the Martian, exactly.
48 explosive space modulator.
You remember that guy?
Oh, yeah.
And Independence Day had giant saucers.
Dude, they had
they're,
really cool
what,
Yeah,
10,
like the
15 miles
motherships.
across?
Yeah, the motherships were, a couple miles, if anything, across.
Yeah, I think they said there's 15 kilometers across for the small satellite ships, and it was like, I don't know, a quarter the size of our moon, they said, or whatever for the
mothership.
mothership.
Mothership was huge.
Have you guys seen the new one yet? I haven't
No,
watched it.
I've not
but
watched it.
I'm a huge Bill Pullman fan. I bet I'm the first person
Dude,
you ever heard
his
say
rousing
that.
speech in that first one. We will go on. We will fight. Today we celebrate
Our Independence Day.
That one dude's like, salute, sir.
I'm a pilot. I can fly.
Anyway, what else we got? There's the classic. It's always the triangle one you see too, like Unsolved Mystery.
Oh yeah, like the lights in the sky,
Or
like
V-shaped even.
Yeah, V-shaped or triangular.
Made out of, what, 6 or 7 independent lights?
I mean, it's been everything
range.
from 3 lights in a row to
So
like
I've seen 5 in a V shape like this, 2 and then 1 at the
or
point.
the giant grid of like thrusters in the back of the triangular shape
Right.
thing. That's a pretty popular one.
Oh yeah.
There's a bell
the,
shape.
the Nazi bell, that's a very popular one. Hitler also, and actually there's a lot of
bell?
pictures of this. Yeah, Nazi bell. You can look this up. This is
Did you ever
your-
see Close Encounters?
I'm
We'll get to that, but-
still thinking about the triangle-shaped ones, like the Imperial Destroyers. Or
I like
whatever
the
those
Star
are called.
Destroyers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, they're bell-shaped. I don't even understand
Yeah, the Nazi
why
bell.
it would be shaped like a bell.
I mean, I'm not a physicist, so I couldn't pretend to know why they shaped it like that. But I'm sure it had something to do.
Why
with
you say Nazi bell?
Well, pull up a picture and show Mr. Slow here what we're talking about.
We ain't got time for it. Just tell him what it is.
It's a spaceship, and it's
Did
got a big
did the
Nazi sign
Germans
on it. Yes,
design it?
exactly
Oh,
that.
I
The Nazi
see.
Party design. So that's why it's called
Did
the
you ever
Nazi
see
bell.
Close Encounters? The third kind.
Probably. I don't remember.
It's kind of a bell, like a hive-looking shape. Just that sort of shape.
Think Liberty Bell with a bottom and a spinning top.
Yep. And then there's like what was that one movie where the kids built their little ship with like a force field around something, like a force field ship? Explorers? Did you guys ever see that?
I don't think so.
They built their ship out of like a tilt-a-whirl and put a force field around it and flew it out. It was unidentified anybody but those kids, so that counts in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't.
I
see,
couldn't
I had
identify
never.
it.
I never even heard of people having sightings of bell-shaped things. I'm familiar with the triangles and the circles and even lines, but I
This was
just
an
never
actual,
heard
it was
of
an
any-
actual. It was an actual Nazi project called the
Right.
Nazi Bell. You have to look
but
that
that
up.
wasn't an unidentified flying object.
No, but that
was
was it was considered a spaceship. So I
Right.
mean, that's what it was alleged to be. So
or it should have been, or was going to be. Huh?
yeah, so let's talk about like what kind of controls, like because obviously the control scheme that we would think would be for flying. Of course, I'm not a pilot, but what kind of controls would would said spaceships have?
You couldn't have, for the most part, manual control.
I mean, it doesn't have a steering wheel. Is what I'm getting at. There'd
Right,
be
you
no
couldn't have a stick or a steering wheel or pedals for that matter. You'd have to lay in your course in a piloting computer.
a supercomputer.
Well, of course it's a supercomputer, but anything that's more than a desktop computer it's more or less a cluster of computers, or just a really fast. Any which way, that doesn't matter. You're gonna have a really fast computer to do all your calculations for your trajectories, and so you don't hit a star. Or something.
So how are you
asteroid field?
How could you operate something? Can you operate it as quickly as the damn machines?
I think what he's implying is that it would almost have to be autopilot.
It more or less is.
Because you're not gonna, you
put
can't
in
think fast enough to
and
fly.
you can't
warp
calculate
speed.
the best way to avoid a black hole. There's a black hole over there, and there's going to be an event horizon you got to skim
Sure.
around. And if you want to save fuel, you're going to bounce off of that and go
Slingshot
around and
yourself,
slingshot
yeah.
it. So you're going to want to have a computer that takes into account all stellar objects.
But now I understand the need for all that. But if you're on, say, a smaller ship on a planet, you're going to need to make decisions
So like your
where you want to
X-Wing
go.
TIE fighter,
right?
one-man
I
fighters.
think you'd almost have to have some sort of manual control.
Yeah,
at
you're
that
going to run
point.
that more or less like a plane. I mean, you got three.
So I would. They'd probably have both. Why not just have controls and then when you need to switch it to autopilot
Sure,
or
I mean,
go
why not?
computer power?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the controls would definitely be something interesting. Like if we were to walk as humans into a UFO, we found a spaceship. There's 0% chance that we would be able to operate it.
Well, you're going to assume first that it's a human-like thing.
Right.
What do they call
Why
it?
would it be shaped like us?
Humanoid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it have? Is it a giant tentacle? Is it
A spider-like
gaseous?
creatures?
It could be. It could be an organism. That
could be. I
could.
mean,
The ship could
We
be
don't
an
wanna go-
organism itself.
Right.
There's an
I
episode
mean,
of Star Trek that was that. It was
Really?
really cool. Yeah, Star
Well, that
Trek
reminds
The Next
me of the Starship Trooper bad guys.
Oh yeah, the arachnids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, they didn't have a ship. They shot their plasma all the way across the.
Right. They still got their people there.
Yeah.
I never understood
They're
about that
insects.
is
Colonized
why they
other
never just
planets.
completely glassed that planet a la Halo. You know, the it's not like they were coming at us. They're just shooting stuff across the galaxy.
Yeah, just glass them from orbit.
Why are they going down?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's neither here nor there.
I think they'd almost have to have joysticks because that's the only logical way to maneuver.
Well, logical
through
in your mind,
three-dimensional
though.
space.
Logical in your mind, though.
You
What
gotta
if
have
there's some way you
for
can do
up
like
and down
this?
movement? You know what I mean? To work both your flaps so you can pitch,
Right.
yaw, and yoke and all that stuff.
Fair enough.
You probably wouldn't need that if you had 2 joysticks. You could stop on a dime.
If you don't
with
have
your-
arms, you don't have nothing like that anyway.
Right, we're assuming that they have hands and that's how they control it, that it's not completely ESP or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in your brain, that'd be much easier. Like, just think, I want to go that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's all Avatar. They hooked up
Or
and
if
he's
you're
just
an
like
alien,
bank
just
left.
like,
Bank left.
Or they might even just move the ship with their
Meek North.
psychic powers. They just move their own ship around.
I mean, why not?
Yeah,
Why
their
not?
brain
Saw
is the warp
Independence Day.
drive.
They pretty much use a Mac-compatible computer.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's that. I mean, we should be fine if they've got that kind of thing going
Well,
on.
they had the ship for 50 years retrofitting it, all right.
Sure. I mean, they had Mac OS 7 back in the 50s.
They were never able to turn it on, so I don't know how they could have upgraded it.
So let's not pretend that these aliens would probably be nice, because everyone's pretty sure if they can interstellar travel, they're not coming here to make friends.
Well,
I would think. What do you think?
Generally, yeah, if you're here to visit, you might be a friendly scientist type alien, but you're probably a scout ship. What is this planet? What do they have?
Resources.
Why do you expand if not? I mean, you got 2 reasons for expansion: exploration,
longevity,
and more or less conquest and pulling in material.
No, expansion would mean like survival of the race. You know,
Yeah.
because we're
Yeah,
doomed as
eventually
a
your
race
solar
if we only
system's
lay
gonna
on.
die.
Yeah.
Well, what if you're just out to make friends?
Well, what if you just want to share the knowledge your race has gained over
That's
the
a
millennia?
dangerous thing, though, to share your knowledge.
Well, to be able to last that long, to have knowledge to share, they had to have been a fairly peaceful people.
True.
You know what I mean?
Let's
Otherwise, they
think
would have
about this.
killed
So
each other long
Say,
ago.
would you want a species that's technologically advanced to visit our planet and hand over?
Cold fusion per se, or something,
Yeah.
something like that. I mean,
Immediately thrust us 500 years.
I bet they did when the iPad started showing up, and before superconductors.
We got that just like an Independence Day. That's how all of our transistors and everything.
right, but I get what you're saying though, because if we were thrust 500 years into the future technologically, we wouldn't be able to. I don't know that we'd be able to handle some of the changes that would be.
We don't know what we're gonna do. You lose all the jobs. You know, when things like that happen, when there's a big upswing, it's not really ever a big upswing. It's gradual. So we'll move out of coal production, move into nuclear. People will slowly be fitted out of those jobs and into new jobs. You can't just change the whole paradigm of the planet.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. Well, in that
Would you want to
aspect,
take
it wouldn't be that
responsibility
dangerous.
for that as an alien? You know,
Well, if they can silence you, they don't really care. You know what I
Who
mean?
can silence you?
If you get out of hand, yeah, they just stomp you out.
We gave it to you.
Yeah, you
Bad
screwed up.
idea. You weren't ready. Our bad, but
Okay, which
zap.
brings us to the next point: weapon systems.
Weapon systems on UFOs?
Weapon systems on UFOs.
Well, has there been any kind of talk of or aliens actually attacking us, like in the UFO sightings?
No, but I've seen a couple interesting videos on YouTube, and I can't decipher whether they're real or fake or bullshit, but they looked really neat to me. And it was from the ISS where it looked like a UFO had shot no, it wasn't from the ISS. I'm sorry, that was a different one. That was where they cut the feed when a UFO entered the atmosphere. NASA cut the live feed.
Yeah, they did something similar to that 3 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, but I saw one that was above the. It was, I can't remember where it was. It was above the ocean somewhere, and they shot a missile out of a ship, and then it looked like a UFO just shot it right out of the air and then disappeared. It was really weird. Yeah, like it was like off
No
an
missile for
aircraft
you.
carrier. They shot this off
That'd
the
be neat.
aircraft carrier, and then like they're filming it, and then they look up and like boom, they shoot it out. It blows up midair. And then
Have you ever heard of the Black Knight? While we're talking about
the Black Knight satellite? Yes, I have. It's supposed to
Yeah.
have been there for 10,000 years. Nikola Tesla was the first one to discover it. He's the one that picked up the signals for it.
So you have heard
What?
of it.
Where is it?
It's
It's in orbit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's supposed to have been there for like 10,000 years.
I guess
heard
nobody
that.
ever-
I remember like some people in like the shuttle or whatever seeing it in like the late 80s or whatever, just something floating off, off to the right, so to speak.
The Black Knight satellite. Yeah, they're not sure what it was, and if
So
they
do
are,
they
so
ever
they're not
catch
telling
it and
us.
see what it is?
No, they can't really even get close to it. It's in orbit.
Yeah, I don't know too much more about it. How many times it's been seen to you? I mean, you sound like you know a lot about it.
I don't know that much.
Oh,
about
asshole.
It. I don't know that much about it.
Well, I don't know. There may very well be like hidden technologies governments or powerful people are using that already have UFOs. You know what I
Right.
mean? Some kind of super power they can use for their planes or ships.
So what kind of weapon would you need if you're interstellar travel? I mean, you're going to need the gun from the Death Star to blow up a world, or are you just going to need something small like a Mac cannon? You know what I mean?
What if you're just
small like a Mac cannon? That's the first time I heard of that.
What if you're just a human on Earth and you make this technology? Are you willing to share it with everyone, or are you just going to fly around in your UFO?
Well, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be a UFO to you,
right?
So what you're saying? What if a person comes up with the idea, or comes up with somehow technology for a UFO,
right?
In the garage, you got a Tony Stark out there somewhere.
Hey,
okay, I'm staying.
We're talking aliens. I mean, how much further?
Maybe it's an alien that's here building his own ship
to get home.
ET style.
District 9.
ET District 9. ET phone home, if you recall.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would just like to think that humans could do something that crazy.
I
mean, you're giving us a lot of credit.
That's a whole different show.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, so I mean, you'd have to assume there'd have to be some sort of weapon system on a spaceship or a
bare
UFO,
minimum,
right?
You might even call deflector shields. Could be used as a
right.
weapon.
Well,
and even if it's a scout ship theory, they're going to have something to protect themselves. You know what I mean?
From what though?
Well, they're scouting. They don't know
Space
what, or they
debris.
wouldn't be scouting.
Well,
right? Yeah, that's what. Yeah, they have no idea.
For it.
Right. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Deflector shields would be for space debris, stuff like that.
But more
small
likely,
rocks.
I'm going to throw this at you. If an alien species exists and it has weapons, it's probably due to like its own infighting, like the reason we would have weapons on a plane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Their weapons got better and better because they needed it. So
That's to fight each other.
That's a scary thought.
Not worried about us. Well, I mean, yeah.
That's a hell of a jump, but I mean,
aliens should fight. Why wouldn't they?
There's so many species out there that are like we're living in Firefly or whatever. That wasn't aliens though. Firefly.
There could be so many. Well, there probably is so many species out there that there's
we're going to talk
every
about that
different type
next
and
week's
shape.
show. We're going to talk about aliens themselves. That's a whole other.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. Next week's show will be all about aliens.
Should I have given that up?
I don't know.
We never usually give
cat's
up
out of the bag. We don't. But Pandora.
Made sense talking about
she only
UFOs.
comes out of the box. She doesn't go back in.
Are you sure about that?
Uh huh.
I don't know. Pandora was in the box though.
Have you ever?
Well, no, but it was her box.
Have you ever personally seen a UFO, box. Eric?
What's
have
that?
you ever seen a UFO? Have you ever had a sighting?
No, actually, I have never had a personal UFO sighting. Now,
what are you talking? Secondhand sighting?
I mean, I got a buddy.
You know a guy?
I know a guy. Yeah, I know a guy. He was.
I saw something that was flying, and I couldn't identify it.
That counts. Let's hear it.
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't like a ship or anything. It's more like.
It was a drone.
No, it's more like a monster.
Oh, wait a minute here.
Did you ever watch Lost? I know you did.
Oh yeah.
You remember the black smoke?
I do.
Imagine what that would really be if it was real. Me and April were driving one time from like Collinsville to Wood River or whatever on 157. We drove past the soccer fields over at Southern Illinois University.
Uh-huh.
We make the turn. We start going down the road, and out of nowhere, this weird, like, smoky void is the best way to call it. It wasn't like a smoke. It
like
was
a blob?
It wasn't even a blob. It's like where it was, there was nothing.
Oh, an
like
absence of everything.
Sure.
It flew like across, and this is no shit. This happened.
Forget his meds.
No, this
happened. Sorry, go ahead.
No,
it
it's a UFO.
Whooshed into the road, hovered probably 30 foot out in front of our car for a couple seconds, and whoosh up. Me and April both fucking saw it.
Really?
Yeah, and then it was gone. We were like, what the hell was that?
So you have had a UFO experience.
I don't know. That's kind of boogeyman,
paranormal.
That's way paranormal. But
wow.
That's not like a standard UFO.
It's like Slender Man sighting or something.
It was weird, dude. It was seriously like it just absorbed light.
It sucked it in, huh? It was almost like a mini black hole right there.
Oh, like the devil, maybe.
It was wispy too. It
was probably the devil.
Fuck you, Alex. Fuck you. Anyway,
hey, I got no room. I got no room to talk.
I don't drink. I mean, once every few years I drink, but.
Well, I don't know. I was driving home one day down the highway. It was a rural highway, and damn lights came on me. It was starting to get sunrise, but about 7 lights come flying at me, all shaped in a square shape, and they just stopped right in the sky, maybe 1,000 feet up above. And they just drove under the lights and then zipped off in the other direction.
Really?
I thought, oh, what the hell?
Interesting.
I
slowed down.
I didn't know this about either one of you guys, that you've had personal UFO experiences.
I couldn't tell you what it was, but...
Oh, I know what it was. It was a UFO.
What do you think mine?
It was unidentified.
Right.
It was flying, and it was most definitely an object.
You nailed it.
But what about mine? Mine wasn't an object.
No, yours was more of an apparition.
Ooh, right. So it might have been even a ghost.
Once we get to a ghost show, we'll talk about that more. It's probably what it was.
Man,
some sort of otherworldly.
Another day, I was sitting in my house and I heard this strange crashing outside, like wow, 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 wow. The whole sky sounded like it was just thrumming.
There's a lot of videos about that on YouTube where like people are hearing stuff from the sky and they actually record it, and that's some really crazy shit.
Well, I listened to a video, one of those videos, because I thought, what the hell was that? And I Googled it. I found a video of somebody in Russia that had almost the exact same sound on their recording. I thought, well, that was weird, because I thought the trash man had come because it was making so much racket.
Right.
And then after about a minute, I went outside, and I was like, holy, it's coming from the damn sky,
Harp, man.
I don't know. I kind of live above a quarry, like an underground quarry.
An underground quarry? It's a mine, more or less, under
Yeah.
Wow.
But,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, from Alton up to Bethalto. I live in Bethalto.
Was there a giant mine all the way? I heard there was mines all throughout the area. But
Yep, all under Gordon Moore Park up all the way to Bethalto.
I didn't know that.
We need to get under there.
Right.
See what's going on.
It's like a
Do a
little
live
city
show.
under there, I hear.
It's like the catacombs.
Yeah. Interesting.
I bet they could store.
Maybe the scatacombs.
I bet they could hide a lot of people in need in there if they had to.
I'm sure they could.
Because
part of the Underground Railroad.
Big okay to hide in.
I mean, there's a place in Alton that was part of the Underground Railroad.
I bet.
All right, let's get back to it, guys.
Yeah, we're going off topic.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever? Hold on, before we get going. Have you ever heard the story where, and it's been the same story 100 times? We're sitting in bed at night, and we hear a noise, see a light or whatever, and I look towards my window, and there's an alien in the window, like the old Greys.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like
And then
Peter
they go out
Pan
the next
style?
day, and there's like either burn marks in the ground where their feet were,
or slime or something.
handprints.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, etched into stone or something.
That's the worst story people tell over and over. It's like you want to be taken seriously, but you're talking about people who exist and just burn themselves in their environment.
Right, like don't get it twisted, people. We are actually coming at this with an open mind. We're not per se saying that we don't believe in any of this stuff.
That's
but
a good seg because we got some mail the other day from a guy who was giving us some shit about why do you guys do this show? It seems like all you do is debunk conspiracies rather than believe in them. Like you don't believe in them at all.
No, I totally do.
At all. Why do we do it? That's an easy question. It's something that we find interesting and compelling.
Well, a lot of the times I need to answer the question. I have to have the question asked first. I need somebody to come up with a debunk so I can answer.
And we're going to have these conversations between ourselves anyway.
Right,
Why
yeah.
not record them and let other people, make their opinions.
Right, these topics are just as interesting to us as they are to you. I mean, that's how we pick them. It's things that we are interested in, and things like, obviously with the exception of user-given show ideas, or I'm sorry, listener.
Well, even a lot of those.
A lot of those, yeah, we're great on that too. Yeah, so, I mean, a lot of people said that they found us searching for UFOs in their podcast app, so that led to the very show that you're seeing right now.
Indeed. All right, what else we got here? Let's keep moving on.
Cloaking devices.
Ooh, yeah.
You-
That's a famous one from Star Trek mostly.
There you go.
I'm thinking
Romulan.
Lord of the Rings puts the cloak on.
Puts the ring
That's like
on.
the most literal version of the cloaking device, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's where it
We're
came from.
cloaking.
I think he had the first one.
I guess that makes sense. The Romulans had it. The Klingons had it.
Okay,
The Federation had it.
I bet
whenever they broke
the
their
Predator had it.
the
Boom.
Predator did have it.
personal cloaking
Yeah,
devices.
that's what the cloak was. Yeah,
That's what the ring
Harry
was.
Potter
Yeah.
have
One ring to
one of those
rule
too?
them all. Oh, I don't know. I never watched.
Yeah,
Harry
he
Potter.
did. And
So
being invisible is a superpower.
Oh,
So if
definitely.
they can put it on a ship and then even on a person, they're like godlike.
yeah,
among
it's a
humans,
super ship. I would think.
Now, if you have a cloaking device on your spaceship, why are we seeing you? Why is there so many sightings of these UFOs?
Right, fair
Yeah.
enough. If cloaking devices are a big thing among the UFO community, then
If
why
Star
are
Trek
we
is to
still
be
seeing
believed,
it?
They are never 100%. There's always some fucking hiccup in the system where you become
Well,
visible for just a minute.
Glitch in the Matrix.
or
You end
whenever
up
you
looking like an apparition floating by, like, hey, what was that coming off the port bow there, Scotty?
well, if you look in the sky and you see clouds, but if you get a little bit of an angle, the clouds are shifted a
Or
little
they
bit.
get
or something.
pixelated.
Yeah, like refraction.
Well, kind of like how they do stealth technology now. They take a picture of whatever's on the other side and broadcast it on the
broadcast it
bottom
double
side.
A, yes.
Stealth technology these days is radar stealth, not visual stealth.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking visual stealth.
Okay, like
They do have that technology.
They do, yeah, totally. Where it's like the whole front of your suit is cameras. It's like, again, a
Yeah.
personal.
well, the screens in the back is cameras, but yeah.
It's
but you know what I'm
flawed, to be
saying.
sure.
You know what I
Did you
mean?
ever see, like, speaking of that, there's a clever Halloween costume where somebody puts an iPad in a hole behind their shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And then the camera behind them, or it looks like they got a big hole in their belly. It's pretty cool.
No, I never seen that.
Yeah, think about it. You
That'd
put a
be
camera
fun.
behind you. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. So how important would it be to have a tractor beam? Because that's something that a lot
You
of
need that
people think about.
Yeah, for your abductions.
Well, not only that, it saves tons of energy when you're in outer space and you get close to something you want to pull it to. Well, you don't want to burn a bunch of fuel to get there. Just tractor beam it in.
Sure, but how does a tractor beam work?
Well,
I
actually
honestly don't know.
obviously.
with magnets.
Yeah.
What if it's plastic?
Well, it's a different kind of magnet. We don't have that
It's a different kind of.
We don't have that material on
It's
Earth.
a plastic magnet dipshit.
Well, they got a different magnet for every kind of mineral or
Oh yeah, man.
element.
So what about?
Well, if you got dark matter, you could pretty well counter everything.
So let's take it to the government side of things. Whenever somebody reports this to the government, what does the government always say? Weather balloon.
Weather balloon, yeah, or training exercise. That's a big one.
Have you ever seen a weather
light
balloon
refraction off of water? Or
Yeah,
something?
it was the light from Venus reflected off some swamp gas.
That's Men in Black.
Look into the light. But,
Yeah.
no, but it's always weather balloon. But generally, you could probably say a lot of this stuff is actual government experiment tech.
Yeah, like just advanced technology that the military is suppressing. They don't want anyone to know about yet.
SimCore says it's 2 force fields rotating in reverse. That's what he says on our YouTube.
That must be a shield.
What are you
a
referring to
deflector
there,
shield.
Sim? We'll get back to you in a second.
Oh, or a tractor beam.
Could be. Oh, that's how that's how tractor beam works. Right?
Oh, 2 force fields rotating in reverse. Nice. That's a very good way to think of it. Thank you.
Anyway, back to what were we saying? The government experiments, like the experimental craft.
Well,
That
you
guy
know,
blew my mind.
you know, every Area 51 has been making advanced technologies since what, the 40s? They've been coming
since
out?
Roswell and all
that
that
was
went down.
50s.
Right? Don't we have a list, a run through of some of the
Yeah, I found a
the
good
tech that's came out of Area 51?
Area 51 tech. I did have that.
I mean, that's where the first spaceship sightings were from, wasn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's close down there to Roswell.
And then they always say, well, it was a military exercise. There was a training something. Or
training exercise, yeah.
well, it's probably just an experimental aircraft. They did that with what, the Blackbird or something?
the SR-71.
Yeah. I reckon they ran
The
out
one
there
that's in
and scooped it
X-Men
up.
is actually, that's a real plane, right?
Really?
You didn't know the SR-71 Blackbird is a real plane?
That's the one they use in X-Men, huh?
Yeah. Oh man, I got to find the SR-71.
I know what it
Blackbird
looks
story.
like. I know exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, well, they would just run out there and clean it up and then tell everybody, oh, it was just a regular airplane accident or something. They'd hide their experimental aircraft.
Right, you can't say that you're working on stealth tech.
Well, yeah, you don't want other governments to know that you've got planes that aren't visible on radar. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you're coming up with something truly cutting edge, you really kind of want to develop that out in the middle of nowhere where no one's going to know what you've got going on.
They were testing this stealth plane they developed, and they had it up on top of like a 70-foot pole, I think, and they were hitting it with radar to see if it was stealth. Well, when the Russian satellite come overhead, they'd have to go out there and hide the airplane, and they did that for a couple years till finally the Russians used infrared, and where the airplane was sitting, the ground was cooler where its shadow was. So
right.
They moved the plane when the satellite came over. The ground was perfect shape of their shadow on the ground where it was cooler on the
Oh, them sneaky Russians.
Oh, they are sneaky.
I mean, then
that's
they
a
have the
brilliant plan,
DNC
though.
too. I mean,
So I didn't find the list of the stuff that comes out of Area 51, the tech, but I did find a list here that's from alienhub.com of the list of 12 alien technologies the world has benefited from.
Okay.
So it's more or less the same thing. So
I bet
going
air
through here, some of
conditioners
them are
one.
Titanium, apparently. They say it was discovered in 1791, but it was not until the early 50s that it began to be used extensively in military applications.
Oh, so you're saying that after the Roswell incident,
They were
or
like, holy shit, this titanium has good potential.
I wonder
Okay.
what kind of strengths titanium has. Is it more?
It's just
I don't
a
know.
light, strong metal, like aluminum, but
is
strong.
it higher? Is it a higher like tensile strength than
probably.
steel?
Right. That's all it is.
I know. That's what my fishing lures are made out of. That's about all I know.
They say the bulletproof vest is something we've gleaned from aliens.
So you're saying Kevlar, or the idea of
Not
a bulletproof
necessarily
vest?
Kevlar, but fiber reinforced plastics and aluminum segments woven up.
Oh,
Kind of like
okay.
Kevlar technologies, just woven bulletproof technologies. Transistor, of course, everybody's always
Oh
said.
yeah, the transistor.
That's
Yeah.
what made the computers possible.
Yep, that's it. Or
Should have been here on time travel last week because we talked about the flux capacitor, which made
the
time
best capacitor
travel.
of all time.
That's got to be it. I bet that's how they're getting here.
That's
and
alien
with
tech,
us.
if there was alien
They're
tech.
not using the
That was my theory. It was a guy that was brilliant on Earth came up with it.
So Doc Brown or Rick?
Doc Brown.
Okay, the remote control apparently is something that came from that, which I guess infrared. tech?
Infrared.
I mean,
Yeah, the Russians took advantage of that.
Did you ever hear about how infrared? They found out the infrared was a thing.
Huh.
It was a guy doing experimentation with a prism, right, to see the different colors of light.
Sure.
Well, he was using a thermometer to see the different temperatures, to see if like the colors were more hot or whatever.
Oh, neat.
Well, the prism was refracted onto a table, and you had your rainbow and he noticed one time the thermometer kind of rolled off to the edge of the rainbow, past the red area, and it got hotter.
All right.
So he figured out that
There's light that he couldn't see.
There was light that he couldn't see. That's where infrared came from.
Neat.
That's how he
Yeah.
Anyway, So what else?
Story time.
I like that one.
Laser technology apparently come from aliens.
Laser technology. Now,
Freaking
lasers
laser
are really
beams.
interesting.
Freaking laser
Man.
beams.
Because really, everyone's been using lasers since we were a little kid. Because really, all you're doing, you're
Dude,
focusing a beam of light to burn the leaf or melt the little, your little army man
That's not the same-
outside.
That's not the same thing.
That's
Magnifying
close.
glass and a laser beam are way not even close. True, you have an intense form of light.
You're focusing the beam
But that's not what a
to make
laser
it
is.
more high output.
Yeah, you're right, but it's not. That's not the point of a laser.
Laser is polarized light. It's all going exactly the same direction.
Hey, what
It's
does
not
laser stand for?
I don't know.
It's something.
Light amplified.
Anyway, one of those big old laser beams, they burn through all kinds of stuff with.
You talking like Real Genius?
Oh yeah, of course he's talking Real Genius.
The movie? You see?
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh
one.
gosh, that's a great movie.
Light amplification by the stimulated emission of radiation. So basically, you light gas on fire and create light from it.
Okay, so you successfully made lasers
Not on
now
fire.
hard. Lasers
Lasers
were
are-
easy before. Right now,
You're
now you
telling
made
me,
them hard.
oh hey, I'm a laser scientist. People are gonna think you're dumb.
No, fair enough.
because lasers are hard.
Yeah, right. Well, they don't get the same respect like a rocket scientist gets.
Well, if you're holding a laser sword, you're getting respect.
Well,
Yeah,
got you there.
I have a lightsaber here.
Yeah, well, even the guys
you will
with
respect me.
even the guys with laser guns couldn't stop a laser sword.
a laser. Yeah, what a
Han
blaster.
Solo, man. Han Solo.
Well, they can't aim.
Who shot first, him or
Of course, Han shot
Credo?
first.
Of course, I shot first. No,
Anyway, fiber optics was another one. The microchip, which is similar to the transistor, but a microchip is like shit tons of transistors in one chip. The integrated circuit, again, I mean, you're going to get a lot of computer shit from
Yeah.
aliens. Night vision.
night vision. That's interesting.
So, I mean, if you're getting infrared and remote control, that's all night vision is the ability to see that part of the spectrum.
Yeah, as a spectrum that you wouldn't normally be able to
Yeah,
see.
So that's kind of some of the stuff we've gotten from UFOs, supposedly from, or as Homegrown or Eric would say, supposedly.
Supposedly.
No, supposedly. Remember?
Supposed.
First couple shows.
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
With a B. Supposed.
I'm almost certain that like iPads and smartphones came from aliens.
Oh, yeah,
I'm almost certain.
Dude, look at the technology jump in phones. I mean,
Well, not even
that's
just phones and
nuts.
Well, as soon as
everything
you-
over the last 50 years.
It's
just been
Moore's law that every 10 years the computing speed's going to double or something like that.
look, this guy says he's tuning in live via 6th Street Park. Oh, it's Brian Corzine. What's up, Brian? Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry. I get excited about YouTube commenters. My bad.
What were we talking about? You stopped us right in the middle of it for that.
I'm shitting all over you here, aren't I?
We're going to turn off YouTube next week.
No way.
You're not going to be able to see what's going on during.
No, I like it.
No, we're turning it off. Where were we at?
Did we go over your favorite spaceships yet?
No, that's part 2.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you want to wrap this one up?
I suppose so. We're pretty much talking in circles here. We've got over.
We got a really good part 2 coming up for you guys, though. So stay tuned.
Well, we got to talk about Men in Black, but we can hit that in part 2.
Oh yeah.
So, all right. Yeah.
Are you talking about Alex or
No. Talking Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones and that organization.
because he's a man in black
Well,
right
how come Will Smith loves making alien movies?
I don't know. We're not talking Johnny Cash either, because he's also a Man in Black.
Fair enough. I didn't even think about that. That's a good
All
one.
right.
All right, you guys. Remember to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Surreal Talk. You can find us on Twitter at Surreal Talk Show. You can also find a live video recording for every show on YouTube from here on out. Just search Surreal Talk live stream, and you should be able to find us very easily. And as we get some more YouTube subscribers, we're going to learn YouTube custom IRL, and it will be
anybody
easier
watching
than
on
that.
YouTube right now, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, please hit the subscribe button. That'd be
and
great.
know that we'll be back here shortly for the second part of our show.
Yeah, don't just give up on us after this one. We've got a part 2 coming up, ladies and gentlemen, and it promises to be stellar.
I'm gnawing at the bit to get it out there.
Also, remember to give us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, or whatever your podcast provider is. But we would like 5 stars. That's always the best.
I'll take a 4.5.
4.5.
I feel like a 4.5. after the
Sometimes
first half.
we slack. That's all right. And if you'd like to ask us a question or reach us directly, or for whatever reason, show ideas, complaining, we're doing bad, we're doing good, whatever. If you just want to talk to us, you can email us at info@surrealtalkpodcast.com. And always remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
All right,
So thanks for listening. This has been Surreal Talk, a lineupmedia.fm production.
Bye,
Peace.
See you in a bit, YouTube.
See you, YouTubers.